So what are some other of these small examples then that could go like what are some other industries that you see could go the way of the rental store? Are we talking like
Well, I mean, the
bookstores or
music industry is already
yeah.
essentially gone because of this, because of online piracy. The music industry is gone. Um, it's a
Well,
very small number of people are actually legally obtaining their music, and because of that, it's completely changed the way music industry is done, the practices of the music industry, and it's killed a lot of businessmen and it's killed a lot of bands um,
yeah.
because of that. And once again, it's a lack of appreciation for the actual art of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these films, whether it's movies, whether it's books, comic books, whatever, they're not made to be shown for free unless that's the
Yeah.
discretion of the artist.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like there is this thought that we are entitled to these pieces of work, which we're not. A film that's made for $100 million is not made for $100 million for the sake of.
Yeah. It's not a
You know,
charity per
there's
se.
an
Yeah.
exactly. This is not a charity. We're not supposed to get it for free. You know, and people depend on this, and people wonder why um, you're getting the same films all the time, or they're wondering why there's so little good stuff coming out.
Yeah.
It's because people are scared to take risks now because there's so much on the line, because people aren't going to see movies anymore. You know, people are downloading so much. They're taking all this for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, obviously now there's there's the pipa and the sopa, which is huge right now. And as much as I understand people's concerns about the possible infringing on freedom of speech,
yeah.
at the same time, there has to be concerns and there has to be discussion about how we can protect artists, musicians, filmmakers' own work, and not just so that it's being stolen and distributed free.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think since everyone is going online and pirating movies and that sort of thing, that a low cost legal option like Netflix might be what's needed, or is it still kind of hurting the industry? I'll let that one soak a bit.
um, I mean, I engage in Netflix. I have Netflix, and I do think it's great. It's great because there is a convenience to it that I can flip it open, and I can find stuff that I would not find otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it is great to have it at your fingertips. And what it also is great is that because for Netflix to have the library that they do, they have to be able to acquire that content legally
Mm-hmm.
at the discretion and at the cooperation of the film studios and the distribution studios and whatnot.
Right.
So the people that should be getting their dues they're getting compensated for their work, which is great. Does that mean though that I think that an entire part of the industry should be essentially should be done away with because of that? No, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, I think that nothing can really replace that in-person interaction. Because I mean, like I say, it's all about. At the end of the day, you cannot put a price on the actual experience, and the experience really should be the number one thing, in my opinion. When you do away with that experience, you do away with the opportunity for connectivity. You do away. A lot of people. You do away with the opportunity for memory. Fault is incredibly important, I think, in a lot of ways. And
How so?
if you look back on it, growing up as people who grew up on going to Blockbuster or video stores and whatnot. We had VHS tapes, we had DVDs, video games. So what we had was opportunity for things to be sold out or rented out. We had opportunities for things to be scratched. We had opportunities to have late fees.
Yeah.
We had all these opportunities for things to go wrong. But at the same time, even in those instances where things didn't happen how you wanted them to, you could still appreciate it, I think, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Because you ever watch a bad movie with one of your friends? Sometimes that's better than watching a great movie.
Yeah.
And you're sort of forced to watch it, because one of the things I think is wrong with Netflix, or the accessibility of digital content, is that it's so easy to flick on and off.
Mm-hmm.
So you give yourself a quick, it's a quick escape, right? You go ahead and you rent a movie for a weekend, even if it's bad. Usually you're just going to end up watching it anyways with your friends.
Yeah, because otherwise it would seem like a waste of an investment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I can think of, tons of times where it ends up being just as fun as watching a great movie.
Mm-hmm. But you think
and you always have that.
Yeah, but those experiences you think are being lost in the digital realm?
I think in a lot of ways they can, because it's just as easy to turn a digital movie off and switch to something else.
Yeah.
And that is not natural, I think, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
You take the good with the bad. When everything is so quick and easy, it's so easy just to get what you want, and I don't think that's necessarily a good thing.
Yeah.
Because that is not natural.
Yeah. Well,
and this might be.
Go ahead. Sorry. You go ahead.
I was just saying that might just be looking into it a little bit much in a lot of people's eyes. But like I say, I think because we're heading into this idea where you can get what you want when you want it, in whatever amount you want, you lose the sense of value, because you never don't get what you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you're never denied what you want, right? If you want to watch, say if you want to watch Taxi Driver, right? You go to Blockbuster, it's not there, guess what? You don't get it. Life sucks, move on. Online, you go, it's right there. Anytime I want, you got it. And that's a small example of the mentality that is developing now.
Mm-hmm.
The sense of entitlement in the immediate,
Yeah.
And to me, that is it's not organic, and it's not realistic. And it's a small example it's an example how something very small can have a huge impact on the development, the direction of our, of society, right?
Yeah, definitely. One thing, I keep going back to the Netflix guy because he did make some good points. He said earlier in my interview that what Netflix does is that it gives people the opportunity to discover new content by showing them other things they might like. But I feel like there's less opportunity to really wander around and go to completely different areas that might be out of someone's comfort zone. What do you have to say about that?
I would say that the video store clerk could do the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's great. Don't get me wrong. Like I say, I use Netflix, and I've found some great stuff on there. Mm-hmm. Stuff that I hadn't watched before. I say I'm not saying that Netflix is bad, or is negative in any sense. I think it's one of the better resources out there. But like you said, it removes the tangible experience that actually going to a video store offers an individual.
Yeah.
That they actually get an opportunity